Dream of ancient migration trails trodden deep by an instinct that time has never contained. Dream of a wilderness where the elephant roams, and the roar of the lion shatters the night. Dream, like us, of experiencing Africa wild and free. Dream of an Africa where people separated by borders drawn in colonial times reunite with relatives and homelands. And dream of an Africa where people rise out of poverty. This is the dream of the Peace Parks Foundation. Peace Parks. Africa, a continent 3 times the size of the United States. When the Berlin Treaty was signed in 1884, African territories were dealt like a pack of cards to colonial powers. The national borders cut across tribal and clan groupings, as well as ancient animal migration routes. These colonial borders fragmented Africa's vast ecosystems and destroyed its biodiversity. Africa's freedom was shattered.
These people, after they were massacred, they went into hiding. So they have been retrieved from their hiding places. They come one by one.
Too often, the echoes of automatic weapons fire have drowned out the sounds of wildlife along Africa's contested borders, borders that remain harsh reminders of division rather than connection between neighbors.
We could see a lot more people arriving over the border, and because there are people from different ethnic backgrounds here, it's a very, very explosive situation.
Old divisions led to conflict and greater poverty. Today, millions of Africans live in abject poverty. They are the poorest of the poor in the world, often living on less than 50 cents per day. Must we forever despair at Africa's unique spirit being drained by the chains of want? Can this nightmare of conflict and poverty evolve into our dream of peace and prosperity? Yes. The dream is being realized through innovative cross-border peace parks that link established conservation areas, foster economic development, conserve biodiversity, and promote regional peace. How did the dream of peace parks begin? Peace Parks traces its roots back to the founding of a branch of the World Wildlife Fund in southern Africa by Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands and Dr. Anton Rupert.
I ask you, welcome our brand new state president, out of the box, Nelson Mandela!
Political changes in South Africa in 1990 opened up new horizons, and Rupert explored a new idea, culminating into the Peace Parks Foundation, which he founded with Nelson Mandela and Prince Bernhard. Peace Parks were founded not only to promote the peaceful coexistence between political neighbors and within regions, but also to promote peace between man and the natural world. Peace Parks comprise vast areas of land. The Great Limpopo Transfrontier Park of South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique, established in 2002, has already been dubbed the world's greatest animal kingdom incorporating South Africa's world-renowned Kruger National Park. As President Mbeki of the Republic of South Africa proclaimed, the Great Limpopo Peace Park is not only the project of the century for Africa, it is a milestone for an African renaissance. In southern Africa, 20 such peace parks are becoming a reality. And in 6 of them, conservation of wildlife already transcends political differences and political boundaries. The main focus of the Peace Parks Foundation is to first establish the parks and protect the biodiversity of the region. Then, through education, the ecological as well as economic value of nature is understood. Only through new approaches and education can the tremendous economic potential of conservation for Africa be realized. Peace Parks and the World Wildlife Fund are working together to train conservation managers, game rangers, and field guides at the Southern African Wildlife College. Small accommodation lodge managers are being trained at the College for Tourism. The Peace Parks Foundation also recently established a veterinarian research unit to address and minimize the risks wildlife diseases play in our daily lives. Jobs are being created through increased ecotourism across southern Africa. For every 8 tourists visiting the area, 1 new job is created. African wildlife provides the people of the continent with one of the biggest competitive advantages in the field of tourism. Discharged soldiers clear the mines they once laid. Special units in Namibia and Mozambique use their experience of the bush for combating poachers and working as game wardens. The U.S. Congress recognized these developments in 2003 when a congressional resolution endorsing the peace parks was passed. Leading the congressional debate was Representative Donald Payne. Congressman Payne stated, "Peace parks will not only contribute to conservation, but to economic development, job creation, and peace and understanding between countries. This is a big step forward. Wildlife can serve as an economic engine." Anyone who has ever experienced the African bush and its teeming wildlife realizes that coexistence between man and nature can only enhance harmony and peace between man and man. The concept of peace parks is the catalyst that promotes this ideal of coexistence. I know of no political movement, no philosophy, and no ideology which does not agree with the peace parks concept. Dr. Nelson Mandela. Business leaders recognize that the peace parks can be the engine that sustains economic development for Africa and for the world that does business with her. The successful application of the peace parks concept in Africa has led to the identification of 169 trans-frontier conservation areas linking 113 countries worldwide. No wonder the United Nations honored President Mbeki and the people of South Africa earlier this year as a champion of the earth for spearheading the groundbreaking sponsorship of peace parks to the world. Could the countries in the Middle East cooperate to implement this concept in their border areas? Could the very symbol of division on the Korean Peninsula, the DMZ, serve as a bridge to reunification? Or consider a peace park in Kashmir between India and Pakistan. A peace park is surely more affordable than an atomic bomb, wrote the Indian Times. Amid such tantalizing possibilities, one thing is certain. Courageous leaders who bequeath a legacy of peace will be long remembered for their vision.
These agreements represent precisely practical, concrete steps towards the sort of integration that our continent needs.
The vision of peace parks captured the imagination of Southern African leaders. 6 major peace parks came into being, and it soon became clear that more financial support was needed. Responding to the growing need, the 3 founders of peace parks, Prince Bernard, Dr. Mandela, and Dr. Rupert, established Club 21. Their aim was to have at least 21 members each make a minimum contribution of $1 million toward the foundation. The Rupert Group took up the first 5 shares of Club 21 in the name of the Rupert Family Foundation, Remgro, Van Ven, Richemont, and Cartier. Prince Bernard of the Netherlands, founder of the World Wildlife Fund, joined immediately, followed by Professor Jürgen Schremp on behalf of Daimler Chrysler South Africa. Others followed, all from Europe and Africa. As Anton Rupert is fond of saying, conservation without money is just conversation. Now Club 21 is proud to announce its first U.S. partner. Today, at the U.S.-Africa Business Summit, Daimler Chrysler becomes the first and founding member of Club 21 USA, a U.S.-based support group for those concerned with peace and stability throughout the 21st century. Will 20 others in the United States join us in this quest? Peace parks. Join us.
Até com a mãe